here as well. Now Maya's birthday was yesterday, so Maya just turned 15 years old, just like Spirit. So we have quite a range of ages here. Lastly, we have Jade. She's our third mother. She is 16 years old, and she's the mother of one of our boys, Foster, who is 8. So these are the 6 girls that you guys are looking at right now. If you're over on the right side, you're going to see Jade. And over on the left, you are going to see Chesapeake. Now I mentioned that all of our training sessions here have different themes to them. So this one we're going to focus a little bit on the natural behaviors of dolphins and the ways that they have adapted to live in the ocean. Now our dolphins here know a lot of these natural behaviors as well, but we train them to put them on cues. Now dolphins have adapted to live in the ocean and to survive, and one of the things that's really important for them is hunting. Now what do dolphins eat? You can yell it out. Fish, exactly. So here we have nice big buckets of fish for our dolphins. But out in the ocean, the dolphins have to be able to catch them. So a lot of their adaptations actually have to do with that. Now if you check out the body form of our dolphins as they're swimming around, you're going to see that they're really nice and streamlined and smooth. So that is to help them stay fast in the water. They don't want to have a lot of drag with those fins. So it's actually really important for dolphins to be smooth. So important that they actually slough off the outer layer of their skin almost every couple of hours. So that's one way that they keep those bodies nice and smooth. So if you check them out as they go by, you're going to see that they have a few sets of different fins as well. Now our dolphins have pectoral fins on the side. Those are the two that are kind of like our arms. If you took an x-ray of it, they would actually have bones like our fingers. So 5 bones in it. Now these fins are actually what help them steer in the water. So as they're swimming, those pectoral fins are what control that body and steer them to help them maneuver around. So they're going to show off those pectoral fins for you guys. Now as they come out, you might see that dorsal fin on the back. So a lot of people know this dorsal fin is distinct to all dolphins. It's kind of like a fingerprint for us. So we all have a different fingerprint. Dolphins all have different fins. So that dorsal fin on the back actually serves a purpose for them though. It's that dorsal fin that helps keep that body stable in the water. So as they come up by, this is Chesapeake. Check out some of the things that make that dorsal fin unique on her. And again, that fin is to keep that body stable. Now as she goes by, check out that fluke, that's that big fin in the back, and check out which way it's moving. Now is that fluke moving up and down, or is it moving side to side? It's up and down, right? So that's actually one way that we can tell dolphins and sharks apart from each other. A lot of people want to know, how do I tell the difference between a shark and a dolphin if I see a big green dorsal fin in the water? Well, that fluke or that tail, if it's moving up and down like this, it's a dolphin. Side to side would be a fish or a shark. So those are some of the adaptations that they have on their body that help them to move so smoothly in the water. Now dolphins have to be fast. Like I said, a lot of their adaptations are what help them to hunt. So they have to be able to catch those fish. So watch as they come on by and show us some of that speed. Now dolphins can actually swim up to 25 miles per hour. They're very strong, they can sustain that speed for a really long time. If you think about people, most of us can only swim about 5 to 7 miles per hour, and that's some really fast people like Michael Phelps. So a dolphin swimming 25 miles per hour is pretty impressive. And again, that's so that they can catch those fish. Those fish are really fast. Now dolphins also have to be really smart to catch the fish as well. So dolphins are fast, but sometimes they need to outsmart those fish. And dolphins are known for that intelligence that they have. So there's lots of ways that they have learned to catch the fish and kind of outsmart them by working together since they are social animals. Now one of those ways that dolphins have learned to work together is using something called bubble netting. So bubble netting is when dolphins work together, blowing bubbles, and it actually helps them to kind of startle the fish into a group. So the dolphins work together, start blowing them with these bubbles, and once the fish are all together, the dolphins can actually pick them off one by one. So watch the windows as they come by. They're going to show off some of those bubbling skills that they have, using that blowhole on top of their head. Now that's just one dolphin coming by the window showing you those bubbles, but imagine a lot of dolphins working together. They can really start out those fish. Now all over the world, different species of dolphins and different groups of dolphins have learned different ways to hunt these fish based on where they live and what has been advantages to them. So we're going to show off some of those ways. There is a pod of dolphins off of the coast of South Carolina that has learned a special method using the shore of the beach where it's really shallow. So this method is called strand feeding, and this is when the dolphins actually come up and strand themselves in the shallow area on the beach. Now dolphins that do this in this pod specifically, they always come up on the beach and land on their right side. So look to the center of the pool. They're going to show you just how they do this. Very nice. So they all come up and land like that as they chase the fish up. Now fish don't do very well in shallow water, so dolphins can move quite easily in that shallow water and in just about no water. So it is an advantage to the dolphins to get the fish up there where they can't really move. So that's one way that specific pod of dolphins has learned to catch the fish using that method. Now off the coast of Western Australia, there's another pod of dolphins who have learned to use that shore in a similar way, except instead of stranding themselves, they actually hydroplane across the shallow water. So check out this in the center of the pool again. Now that's something that we call hydroplane. So again, the dolphins work together, chasing these fish into the shallow areas of the shore. They hydroplane their own bodies, catching the fish as they do so. And dolphins can do this in as little as 1 inch of water. So they really have that advantage over the fish once they're out there. So those are a couple of the unique ways around the world that dolphins have learned to hunt. And they have passed this on from generation to generation between the families. So they all learn to do this as they grow up. So as you're seeing over here with Kelsey, what you're seeing is something called mimicry. So that's something that dolphins, or a way that dolphins have learned and learned from each other. And they can learn from us as well. So mimicking each other, that's one way that they learn. And hanging out with their moms until she meets them. So about 3 or 4 years, they're going to stay with that family group and learn all of that information. So there's different ways that dolphins communicate with each other, and body language is one of those. And it's something that we can use when training our dolphins here as well. So if you see how close they look, that's another adaptation that dolphins have, is very good eyesight. So they're watching us very closely, mimicking our motions. They can see very well underwater and above water as well. So that's another great adaptation that dolphins have. Now they also communicate with each other using different sounds or vocalizations. So besides body language, that's another important way that they do. So our dolphins are going to show off some of the sounds that they know how to make and some of the ways they vocalize with each other. So listen up. That's Chesapeake. That is Jade. And that's Bailey. That was Maya. That's Nani. And, Spirit's in the back right now. So those are some of the different sounds that you can actually hear from our dolphins that we have captured them doing on their own. But dolphins can make a wide range of noises, from clicks to buzzes to squeaking sounds to clicking. So there's lots of different sounds that dolphins can make, and that's how they communicate with each other. Now, like I said, they use body language, so we're going to show off one of the behaviors we're actually training right now with one of our dolphins, Nani. This behavior is something called a breach. This is something that you can see dolphins and whales doing quite often out in the ocean. Now, breaching can be used for hunting and also for communication. And a breach is when a dolphin comes out of the water and lands on one side of their body. So check it out over on your left side. And that was Nani learning something called a back breach. So she's just starting to learn it right now, so she didn't get very high out of the water, but we're teaching her that she's going to land on her back. Now eventually she's going to get really high out of the water, and we'll see if we can get one of them to show this off in a second, but this is going to be a bow that you guys and if you look to the center of the pool, this is the back breach that Nani was learning. Nani, like I said, she's 44 years old, so she might not get quite that high anymore, but she will get higher out of the water than she is right now. that breaching motion. Now, as you saw before, that bow is when the dolphins come out of the water. You saw two of them come on by and do that porpoising motion. That's another one of those really common behaviors that you would see dolphins and whales doing out in the ocean. Now, as they bow, what they're doing is they're actually coming up and taking a breath. So usually they're swimming really fast. They pop up out of the water, take a breath really quick, and dive back down into the water without losing any of that speed. So that's an important way for them to get that breath as they're swimming, not lose that speed, and also they can take a look at their surroundings. So as they come up out of the water, they can gain a little bit more information about what is going on. So those are some of the behaviors that you would see dolphins out in the ocean doing, and some of the ways that they've adapted to live in that environment. Now our trainers are going to be finishing up their training session here with our dolphins. I'm going to wave goodbye to you guys. Now if you have any questions about anything you saw here or anything